Technology Screens. Yeah, I gotta be up this early. Usually when we have sales like this, I have to be up early for sales. Uh, Getting the rest of the orders processed for this Saturday, and this Saturday coming up is going to be another ship out date. I do apologize for some of the orders. We got 3 orders, actually 4 orders, that didn't get a chance to get shipped out this Saturday because the supplies came in late. The supplies were supposed to be here at 10 o'clock, but of course they came in at 12. Driver got here around 10 o'clock. Well, actually, the driver got here around 11, around 11 or 12, around that time. That's when she got here, which was able to get the rest of my orders out. But I got the majority of most of them out, which was good. So what we're going to do is I'm going to contact those particular individuals, let them know that their orders are going to ship it on Saturday instead. These are some of the new orders that came in for tonight. Getting those ready and get them out the door. The Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale is going to be ending. Got plenty of time. It's going to be ending around December the 4th because that makes it so everybody can take advantage of it. So these are some of the orders I have right now. I got to take care of today. We're going to be doing a 106-inch paint-on screen. The screen I have upstairs removes it off the wall. I'm actually replacing that with wallpaper. I want a wallpaper screen up there instead of having the fixed frame screen. I can use the fixed frame screen downstairs for work, which is going to be needed. And the wallpaper I can put upstairs because I have a solid wall to put it against. What else are we going to be working on? We got a few things we're going to be working on. Next week, we're going to be looking at ordering a 150-inch tension motorized projection screen to coat with the technology. As for the Elegant Silver, that is going to be added to the website probably around next week. Around next week, I have it added to the website. All right, so I got to get cracking, Jackson. I'm going to do some of my orders now. Where the heck is my stuff I need? Make sure I got everything there. We get these ready. And like I said, also too, it depends on the postal worker that we got today. We got a new postal worker, so hopefully, he'll back the truck up in the driveway and take these for me because I know my orders stacking up before I hit Saturday. That's a lot of orders to do. So it's been a very, very busy couple of days. All right, let's get this one started so I can get these customers out the door and get them ready. I'm looking at my shipping forms. These are my shipping forms. So these are when I get the multiple orders that come in. These are the shipping forms that come off the site. That'll tell me exactly how much paint was ordered. We got one individual that literally ordered all this paint. So I don't know what he's putting in, but it's pretty interesting. So he ordered quite a bit from a quantity. Yeah, he ordered quite a bit from that one. So we have to put all these in right here today. We have those right there. So these are done. So that's a one order. So that one order, we have to process that one out separately. That one I usually knock that out of the way because we don't want that one getting mixed up with all the other orders. So I process this one by itself, literally by itself. That's what I'm doing right now, processing that order by itself. So we don't get that mixed up, things going in the wrong boxes and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm taking care of that one right now. So this is the Christian paint ordered. This is he ordered the Black Cinema. The gaming paint, he ordered the Phantom, and he ordered Phoenix. Got both of those. All right, so let's get him wrapped up. Maybe just put 2 of these in right here. No. I'm going to individually wrap them. That's what I'm doing. Because he got 2 of them on the same box, but I'm going to individually wrap these bad boys. These are already last night. I already put the heater on them to shrink them, so they're already done. They're pre-done already. Just got to wrap them up. Figure out where the rest of my stuff is at real quick. Oh, there's my scissors right there. Pretty good gum drop. I ain't got to search for nothing today. All right, get this out of the way right now. Man, I thought friend of mine a friend of mine on oh my goodness, Facebook was trolling today when he showed a turkey going for $123. We were blessed to get our turkey in already, but $123 for a turkey. But I seen worse than that. I went on Amazon, and Amazon did have them at around 123, 110. I seen some for going for $200 for a turkey. $200 is something you're going to eat for just one day. Or pretty much people just spread it out because they make turkey sandwiches and all that stuff out of turkey salad. But wow. But we got ours for blessed to get ours for $25. And we're able to get, we got a really big bird. I'm not a big fan of turkey, but I eat it anyway. I'm not saying I don't like it or anything, I'm just not a big fan of it. I prefer ham and turkey. Should have got ham. But you know, you want to go tradition. Should have got both. Oh, it's too late for it now. I didn't think about that until last minute. I could have got some duck and I could have got basically ham and turkey, but I'm just myself. So we got these three done. We got them right here. That one, and let's go to heat on. So for everybody, it's everybody having a good morning. Like, good gracious, man, you're up this early in the morning. I'm going to be up and early in the morning with Charlie's. I'm always up around 4 o'clock in the morning. Always been that way. Always been that way. Up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Get much more done. Which is what my company, I've always been this way. Early bird. I'm an early bird. I'm basically a person who basically, really, I'm an early bird. I'm a person who really likes to be up in the morning. When I get up, there's no yawning and going back to bed. I'm just up. Get up, start my day. None of that. Give me 5 more minutes. Snooze alarm. Don't need it. Just naturally charged when I get up. Don't drink coffee. I usually have a cup of tea in the morning. That's basically about it. But waiting for my tea to get here, so I can't have tea today. I haven't had tea in the last couple of days. Gotta wait till Wednesday to get tea. Deliveries. I gotta usually wait until Wednesday. That's why I thought I incorporate God in everything that I do. With Jesus in everything that I do. Because I gotta wait until Wednesday to get my tea. And usually I'm used to having tea every day when I get up in the morning. So I'll look at it this way. Maybe I'm drinking too much tea. I drink about 6-7 cups of tea a day. I drink a ton of tea. I love tea. I drink that much tea. Used to have a real serious coffee addiction, but I don't drink coffee anymore. I haven't had coffee in 10 years. I gave up on coffee. Coffee was doing some bad things to me. But yeah, when I get these things like that where I can't have what I want right away, I look at it this way: is God is just basically putting it on the back burner because it's something I don't need right now. Just don't need it right now. Maybe there's something else going on with my body that maybe I'm drinking all this tea. My body may need a break from it. So usually I'm used to having tea in the house, but you know, I waited to the last minute, put an order in, and now it's been delayed. But I'm not worried about that. I'm not going to complain about it because at the end of the day, Maybe that's God telling me that, hey, look, we got a case of water over there. You need to start drinking a lot of that water over there instead of drinking this tea in the morning when you get up. And then that way, could be something going on that he's probably going to fix. You know what I mean? That's why I look at it that way. That's why when I tell people, look, I've had contract deals fall through, and I don't get upset on contract deals falling through. I don't get all worried and upset and this, that, and the other, and I don't chase money because at the end of the day, if it's meant for me to have, it's meant for me to have. That's how it works out for me in my head. I'm not about that. I'm not about. That's why I can't be bought and I can't be. I can't sell out because at the end of the day, a company could offer me money, but I don't chase money like that. I chase God. At the end of the day, you can put your sights toward chasing God. You see how much your life will change after that. Just can't be swindled and all that stuff in business deals because you don't get overwhelmed by dollar signs. You don't. Like the company we had overseas with Digital One Crystal Screen Paint, when they came down, they wanted to take us to a nice club and parties and stuff like that, And I was like, no, that's not me. Two of the people I was working with, one was a Christian, the Asian guy was a Christian, and the other guy was a family man. They don't go out and party like that. When they come home to their families. That's the end of it. So there was nothing they could do there. They couldn't sweeten the pot or try to persuade us for this, that, and the other because we weren't interested. So, but when a contract deal for me falls through, it ain't the end of the world for me because at the end of the day, like I said, God owns everything on the planet. If it was meant for you to have, it's meant for you to have. If it's not meant for you to have, it's not meant for you to have. I look at it way as him protecting me from something that I couldn't see. That's how I see it. Because like I said, if he wants you to have that contract or have $1 million deal, whatever, he's gonna make it possible. If it's not meant for you to have, then it's not meant for you to have. There's a reason why it's not meant for you to have. And I don't fight it. I just go with the flow. That's the best way to do it. Some people will fight it. They'll get upset and they'll get up angry. Like, no, don't get angry and get upset. Let it go. Let him deal with it. Because there's something there that he's seeing that's just not right with it. If it was meant to have, he would give it to you. You got to look at God like if you have kids, you want the very best for your kids. You want to protect them. You want to make sure that they're safe. You want to make sure they're well fed and all that and everything. That's how God treats us. That's how you have to see it. So if you see a danger in something, you're going to basically block your kids from going through that because you don't want to see them go through that. So that's how you have to look at it. Don't get upset when things don't work out. It's God working things out. Don't get angry. Don't get frustrated. The best thing you can do when you're going through trial and tribulations in life, when things are really rough for you and you're going through some really hard times and you're saying, God, why am I going through this? Just sit back and watch. You will get a chance to see God at work. I learned that. Took me a long time to learn that. I come from a family of people that are really, really stubborn, number one, and they're hard go-getters. They're used to that. Well, I'm going to go through any mountain or I got to go through Intermediate Sea or whatever I got to do to get the job done. That's how we're programmed to get it done. But sometimes you have to learn to there's things are out of your control. You do all that you can do, and then you put the rest in God's hands, and he will handle it from there. And the most wonderful things that you can witness is when you're going through something really, really, with the hard tribulations that you're going through, that you can sit back and just put it in his hands and just don't worry about it. And you watch it all come together right there in front of you. It may take some time. Sometimes it takes some time, but it will come together. It will become full circle. You got to let down and watch. And I'm glad I didn't. Sometimes I got into a situation one time, and a lot of you not. Everybody goes through stuff. Everybody goes through stuff. People think, oh, well, he makes all this money, so. Hey, everybody goes through stuff. You do. Even people with businesses go through stuff. I had an incident that happened where my company had slowed down a bit. And like I said, God wanted me to learn something. I was making good money, serious money for last couple of months with no problem. And my business, for some reason, boom, just slowed right down. Completely sorry. And this has nothing to do with the Jamies and the Partays and none of that nonsense. When you start putting your faith in the Lord, when you start putting your business with God, God controls everything. Jamies and Partays don't control jack. Naysayers don't control jack. People who basically want to slander you don't control jack. Think about it. For the time that this individual has been coming on, talking about making my products, my 12s has been selling. I got videos of my 20, 30, 40 orders sitting on the table of 12 selling like crazy. So no, they don't control jack at all. So At the end of the day, you have to understand God has control over all of that. Not them, not man. It has nothing to do with it when you put your faith in God. But you have to slow down and put things in his hands. So there's an incident where sometimes God wants you to strengthen your faith. That's what he called trials and tribulations, going through Christian boot camp. Where God, you have to go through something to make your faith stronger. Because keep in mind, people forget about that other one, Satan. Oh, they forget about him. They forget about the devil. That's his main job, is to go out there and do his damage. You got to be protected against that. God's going to protect you against that, but you have to know how to deal with that when that comes up next to you. But I'll tell you something real quick. So anyway, yeah, so my business slowed down dramatically. Boom, like halted. And I still had money. I had money to be able to maintain bills and maintain my rent and everything else I needed, pay for food and whatever I needed, and maintained it. But still, it just slowed down to a really almost a grinding halt, where orders were just trickling in. And I'm thinking like, okay, I understand. I don't know what's going on, because I've never had an incident like this ever happened before. I mean, we've had slow days, but never like this. So I had missed on an electric bill probably about 3 or 4 times. I missed an electric bill. You'd be surprised when electric is in this place. I burn a lot of energy. Basically, that's something like on solar power. I burn so much energy. I pay the electric company so much money. It's not even funny. But anyway, so I had an electric bill pop up for like $1,800. It was a lot of money right that popped up. And at the time, I had around $300 something in my banking account, And I'm thinking like, okay, they sent me a warning notice. We're going to shut my power off in about 10 days. And I remember right after I had the 3 something in the account, Comcast came in and hit me with like $160. They took it out of my account. I'm like, wow, got even less money because they took the internet out now. For the internet, I need to work, because without the internet, I can't work, can't make money. So they took that out. So now I have less money in my account. So I called them up. The first person got nasty with me. She hung the phone up on me. Didn't get discouraged. Called again. Got this really nice woman, got on the phone, got to talking and everything. She said, Mr. Bird, yes, so and so and so, not a problem. This, that, and the other. And I'm worried because, they're telling me in the termination bill, like, they need all their money up front, like, period. Or they're going to terminate my service. And as we're talking, she said, you know what I'm going to do for you, Mr. Bird? I'm going to reset your bill. Reset the bill. They reset the bill where they didn't remove the $1,800. They put the bill into some kind of like a payment arrangement where I paid them like $79 a month. Because we're all caught up now. We're all paid off. Bills paid off. But $79 a month at the time, which gave me enough room to be able to gather some money together, because my business started going back to normal again, but gave me enough time to get my bills paid off in one hit. But still, that reset right there at the time. And I'm thinking, well, how much money I got to pay up? Because at the time now, with my website hitting me $30 and Netflix and all the other little odds and ends, I'm down to $14 left in my account. $14 in my account. More money's coming out of my account, nothing's coming in. More money's coming out, nothing's coming in. But I'm keeping my faith with the Lord. I'm praying because my business runs through him. And I keep praying. Every once in a while, the devil will get in there and go, oh, God has forsaken you. God is not going to be with you anymore. God is this, God is that. The devil keeps coming in and taunting me. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to let you get the victory on this. And mind you, I got family, got money. I got a brother make 7 figures. I got family that make money. I could have gone to any one of them and said, hey, look, I need $2,000. I didn't borrow it. I didn't want to borrow from them. Could have went to my mother. My mother's retired. She told you my father's military. She gets some money that comes in. She don't do anything with it. She'll give it to me in a hot second. Didn't want to ask it from her. Didn't want to ask it from anybody. No friends, nothing. I wanted to sit there and wait and see what the Lord had planned for me, because I wanted to see his hand at work. Any other time, I would have panicked like I don't know what. I would have called family up and say, look, man, I need like $2,000 right now. Hook me up, so. Done deal. I would have lost. If I'd done that, I would have basically missed out on seeing God's hand at work. So I didn't borrow the money. I didn't borrow nothing from anybody. And I sat there as the devil came in every day and taunted me, and my business slowed down, and money wasn't coming in, and things got worse and worse and worse. It got to the point where the pressure was on, and now I got rent money coming up, and it got worse and worse and worse. I'm thinking, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna deal with this, Lord. This is craziness I'm going through. Like, what am I doing wrong here? Like, did I curse on camera? Did I do something disrespectful? And I'm questioning myself, and the devil's coming and still hitting me. And God is waiting, but I refuse to ask for that money. because I want to wait and see. I'm not going to spoil my opportunity to see God's hand at work. So I wait. And then that sky opened up. The woman, I called her up and she said, "No, Mr. Bird, you're good. We don't need any money from you. Next month, you'll be good to go. We'll get the $79 from you and we're good. We're just going to reset your plan. Your shut-off notice has been terminated." Right after that, I'm on the computer working. An order popped up, and another one popped up, and another one popped up. Next, you know, I went from $14 in my account to a couple $1,000s in my account within 2 days. I got a chance to see God's hand at work just by waiting. Could have borrowed the money easy. Could have got it from anybody in the family, but I waited. That's what it taught me at that particular point in life. Don't worry about this. And then what I learned from that experience, I learned the fact that through all that I went through, everything I went through, that the next time I go through that, I don't worry about it anymore. I've gotten to the point, I have been through so much Christian boot camp that I don't worry about it anymore. I put it in God's hands. I do. What's the point of worrying about it? The devil will come in and mess with you every single time. I went through something, my business slowed down a little bit, and the devil go, "Oh yeah, this, that, and the other." So I said, "I just went through this last month. God just put me went through this. I know what the outcome's going to be. Bye bye. You don't win here today. Bye bye. You're not going to come here and taunt me today. Bye bye. You got to go." So that's why when I get these messages from these individuals that come in and say, "Oh, well, you know, I'm going to shut down your business. You're a fake. You're a scammer." I laugh at all of this. Now, at the end of the day, yes, I am going to take him to court. He has to go to court. Because on the business end of this, and even with God, it's still all of this belongs with God. You don't do stuff like that. There's certain lines you just don't cross. There's consequences and penalties you have to pay in life for doing dumb stuff like this. So therefore, this has to be taken care of. But on the other half of it, all that other nonsense of making products and all that stuff doesn't bother me. And calling me this and calling me that doesn't bother me at the end of the day. The reason why it doesn't bother me today, because like I said, I look at that as water off a duck's back. Doesn't bother me at all because I know who basically runs my company. I know my products work. Because at the end of the day, everything I make here comes from my Lord and Savior. Everything that I design, everything I make comes from my Lord and Savior. And I tell people, when you slander me, you slander him. And yeah, I've never met a man to this day to be to take on God. The whole nonsense with those two individuals, no. The only thing that happens when you do stuff like that, that kind of destruction lands on your own head. And it does. It lands on your own head. I learned some valuable lessons. You learn some things in time about Christians, and Christians have to learn some things that people say, "Oh, Christians hide behind the Bible." There's something to do hide behind the Bible. There's something they don't do what you're supposed to do. Yeah, they don't. They don't. And they're supposed to be doing the right thing. Can't hide behind the Bible. How are you going to hide behind someone who does not commit evil? Can you imagine if God basically committed evil? Ooh, man, we wouldn't even be here right now. I mean, none of us would be here right now. We'd all be gone. Ooh, good thing he's merciful. If he wasn't, we'd all be gone by now. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah, I put my faith, I put my company. That's when people send me letters like, "Oh, you're going to shut down, you're going to lose your business." Yeah, I've been getting those particular emails from that individual for about 4 years. Good luck with that one. Yeah, God runs my company, so good luck with that one. But yeah, you got to put faith in God. You have to at the end of the day. And especially in this decade and time, the way things are going on in this world, you have to have faith in God. You have to. Because it's very interesting how things that are going on in this world right now. Very, very interesting. But like I said, that's how it has to be. You have to be careful. All right. Well, now we're going to get tidied up here and get ready to go for you guys. But yeah, sometimes I try to tell you a little bit about my life, I learned a lot. I had to go through a whole lot of stuff, man. I went through a whole lot of stuff, man, in my life, man, to get to this point where I'm at right now. Because I had options. Only had 2 options in the neighborhood I came from. Or actually, it was 3. One was jail, one was death, and the other one was basically get the freak out. Those were the 3 options you had. I was blessed to be able to get out. I watched a lot of my friends perish. A lot of them. A lot of my friends died. A lot of them. But I was the lucky one. My God was watching over my mom and her family, and we were the lucky ones we got out of the neighborhood. And Despite once in a while I bump into somebody from the old neighborhood. They've changed, you know what I mean? I bumped into a few people that actually were drug addicts and they were now giving back to society, working, had good jobs and everything, had a home, nice family and all. Completely different person, found God. Completely different person from the person that I knew that I used to see every single day walking up and down the street. Found God. Changed your life. But, you know, like I said, you have some people get mad and they lump all Christians together and say, oh, well, you know, if one Christian's going to act like that, they're all that way. No, it's not true. It's just that particular Christian, that's all. That's what it is. It's that particular Christian. That's like saying because one person says something racist, all of them racist. No, you can't say that. You can't say that. People have to understand. Yet people back in, you know, in Martin Luther King's time, you know, at that particular time, you had a lot of racial tension in that area, where people basically stood up and marched and did all kinds of stuff and protests right alongside with the black man. So you can't say that. You can't say that all Germans are basically Nazis, because they're not. Because you had Germans and at that particular time that risked their lives to rescue Jews. So you can't say that, you know. I know people get mad at a shipping carrier. Oh, UPS. No, you can't say that. Depends on who's working that day. You can have a real nice person. You can have an ugly person work that day. That doesn't reflect on the entire company. That's the company. That's their policy. Then that's the problem right there. So, you know, same thing I say about people say, oh, when I talk about China, well, I shouldn't say Chinese. Let's just say bad projectors. I never put on my site Chinese projectors. I put out knockoff projectors. Those projectors come from everywhere. They don't just come from China. They come from everywhere. Just unfortunately, a lot of our products are manufactured over there, but they come from everywhere. You can get crap from anywhere. You know, wish list and get crap from anywhere. It depends on who's manufacturing it. You can have it come from Germany. Germany could have basically amazing products, and you could have a factory on the far end of the corner that just basically makes crap at the end of the day. And that's the crap you could be getting from off of a website. You can't blame the entire country for it, but I love when I bump into people like that. You know, the people I bump into from time to time on Facebook, those particular idiots that come on there and start ranting about leave America, get out of America, you don't belong here, blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. Let me give you a little education, all right, a little understanding. America was never all white to begin with. I'm sorry, but it's true. American Indians actually inhabited freaking America way before you ever inhabited, because I'm a bit of a history buff. So I know that for a fact. So sometimes after going after school an individual, I'm basically trying to get them to understand that no, when Christopher Columbus came over here, there were no white men here, period. It was Indians. You understand me? Okay, so bottom line, that's the equivalence of me kicking in your front door, sticking a flag in the middle of your living room and telling you to get the freak out of your own house. Yeah. Cut that nonsense out. I dated an Indian woman too. Very interesting culture too, on top of that. Yeah. And at the end of the day, everybody is God's people at the end of the day. You ever heard of the Tower of Babel? The Bible is an interesting book. People need to read the Bible. When people look at the Bible and they look at it like, oh my goodness, I don't want to read through all of this. That's your attitude. Don't pick it up. Don't touch it. Don't even go near it. Don't even think about it. You'll miss out on the beautiful, on all the beautiful testimonies that are in it. Don't even go near it. Don't bother. If you're reading the Bible for the sake of just reading the Bible because it's something that you need to do, not want to do, don't touch it. It has to be something that you want to do. I read the entire Bible because I wanted to know, that's how my life got shorted out. Hey, get away from there. Now, my leftover lights, I got to pay money already to fix the other ones. You nut job. That's electrician Bob. Anyway, so yeah, so it's a wonderful book to read. But if your intentions, I tell Christian people, if your intentions that you're reading it for the sake of just reading it, don't bother picking it up. It'll be lost on you. It's a waste of time. It'll be lost on you. You want to read the Bible because you want to know more about God. That's what you want to do. That's why you want to read the Bible. But don't read it for the sake of just reading it. All right, we got over here this one and this one. You know, when you read the Bible, it's interesting. When you read the Bible, you know it's not the same every time you read it. You can read it 10. I know people have read the Bible at least 7, 8 times. Man, I read the Bible 7, 8 times. It changes every time you read it. you get more insight on it. It's the same meaning, but you get more insight on the meaning. It's amazing. I got to get off my lazy butt and I got to read it the second time around because I've only read it one time. But I've had people tell me that, yeah, they read the Bible again, they read it again. It gives you more insight every time you read it. But the interesting thing about the Tower of Babel, two things about the Bible I found actually three things I found quite interesting about the Bible. One was Leviathan. I was very interested about Leviathan. I really do solely believe that there are things in the ocean. And that's just me. Everybody's got their own theories, but that's me. I go in these discussion groups on Facebook. We have interesting discussions. I don't do that one because that will freak me out. But anyway, I don't go in the ocean, period, at all. I think there are things in the ocean that we haven't discovered yet that, unfortunately, I do not want to find the hard way, because the ocean isn't a part of the ocean is unexplored. Technically, we only know what's in the ocean due to the fact of things we found. And they always discover something that's been there for millions of years. It's been there for millions of years. We just haven't bumped into it yet. And you just don't want to be that one individual to bump into a 60-foot eel that happens to be sitting there waiting in the bottom of the ocean for feeding time. So that's how I look at the ocean. I love water sports and stuff, but I just don't see how you can swim and play in something that potentially there are things down there that we haven't even discovered yet. I mean, okay, yeah, people hunt and all that, but pretty much everything on the land, we pretty much conquered when you think about it. I mean, there ain't really much you're going to bump into at the end of the day. If you're going through the woods, now you're bump into a bear, you know what I mean, whatever neck of the woods or country you come from, whatever species of animals you have, you know, you're going to bump into that. It's rare you're going to bump into something like a dragon in the middle of the woods. You know what I mean? So, you know, we've already pretty much conquered all that. But the ocean, ocean's something else, because there are basically trenches in the ocean that go so far down that cameras and equipment can't survive due to the fact that, you know, they'll implode. The pressure would destroy it. So keep in mind, there's life everywhere on the planet. There is, even out in the middle of the desert where there's no water. Actually, there's water up there, but there's microscopic creatures that live in the sand that live out there. The earth is inhabited by life anywhere you go. There's something out there living. So chances are, well, actually, it's not chances are, there are things in the bottom of the ocean, the bottom half of the ocean, that are actually down there living. And every once in a while, they pop up, like a coelacanth. You ever heard of a coelacanth? A coelacanth is a fish that has a beak. It's about the size of a love seat, and it has 5 fins and can swim backwards. They're prehistoric. They didn't exist. Actually, they exist in books, but they found a couple of them off the coast of Africa and Mexico and so on and so forth, and found that this fish actually freaking exists. It's just deep down in the ocean somewhere. That's all. So yeah. So anyway, getting to that, in the Bible, they speak of Leviathan. You ever heard of Leviathan in the Bible? The name of Leviathan? Leviathan was actually real. Leviathan was an actual, real sea serpent. There's actually 2 of them. They speak about Leviathan a few times in the Bible. They speak about it in Job. And the other couple of times they did speak about this great dragon. I mean, literally, freaking dragon. That sea monster, if you would call it, that lived in the ocean at the time. So, curious, reading through the Bible, where is this thing at? Is it still existing? Is it still floating around in the ocean somewhere? But it tells you in the Bible that one was destroyed. It doesn't say what happened to the second one. It didn't say in the Bible, but it does say one was destroyed. But the other one, no, it doesn't say. It doesn't say anything at all. But there are parts of the Bible that were just not meant to be figured out until the time when God comes back. He will explain these things to you. If you're one of the chosen ones to go to heaven, He will explain these things to you on why this and that and this and the other. You can ask these questions. That's why I tell you, real careful when you read the Bible. Don't take anything from it. Don't add anything to it. Yeah, you get yourself in a lot of trouble for that one. Just leave it be. So yeah, that's one of them. The other one is the Tower of Babel. So people always wonder how everybody got their own tongue of language. Like, you know, people speak Spanish and French and, you know, different languages and stuff. If you read about the Tower of Babel, at one point, man all spoke the same language at one point, until they all got together and decided to build this tower to see God. So as they're building this tower, God leans over the side and looks at man, because mind you, at that particular time in the Old Testament, God talked to man. God was normal for you to go up to the side of a mountain and have a conversation. If you were chosen to have a conversation with God, God actually talked to man. He communicated with man. Not anymore. He doesn't do it anymore. But he used to communicate with man in the Old Testament. So anyway, you're so lucky you didn't live in Old Testament. I mean, bottom line, thank goodness that Jesus Christ, well, like I say, he had to come down and hang himself on the cross. Because at that time, well, it's a lot. It's a whole lot to go to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you all that right now. But yeah, it's a good thing he did come down. Because in the Old Testament, you'd be gone by now. You literally would be gone by now. If you committed adultery, if you basically looked at a woman the wrong way, yeah, you'd be gone. You'd definitely be gone. They'd throw you in a pit and they would stone you to death. So the laws were very strict in the Old Testament. I mean, you have gotten taken out quick. Half of the stuff that people do now, there'd be a lot of bodies. I mean, it'd be a lot of bodies if it was under Old Testament. A lot of people would be getting taken out. So God's rules were no joke at that particular time. And then you had to do sacrificial lambs and all that stuff like that, and to be forgiven and all that stuff. But yeah, so the Tower of Babel basically is where God leans over and he's watching man. He's thinking, together there's nothing they can't do. You bind them together, there's nothing they can't do. So he struck them. He struck them with their own language. Each one got struck with a different language. And when they're sitting there, mind you, you're communicating. Any of you guys do construction out there and you're building a building. Communication is very, very important for you to be able to understand each other as you're building the structure, right? But imagine just right there, everybody speaking a different language. I'm not talking about speaking a language that we know, something that you've never even heard of before. Because at that particular time, everybody spoke the same language. But when they got struck, everybody had a different language. So how are you sitting there communicating with someone like, what are you talking about? I can't understand a word you're saying. So they gave up. Can't understand what they're saying. They all gave up and everybody went to their own region. I guess everybody went to, these people speak this language, speak that language, and went to their own region. It's interesting. The Bible's an interesting book. Very, very interesting. Okay, we need to get this done because Ken will talk about this all day. Because I like to go to my discussion groups. I like to talk in my discussion groups. Yep. I like to discuss in discussion groups. Yep. That's why I said, man, when people do stuff like that, people say, oh, well, Christians are this, that, and the other. That's them. You can't say all Christians are like that. You got preachers that'll go out there and they will steal from their church members, they'll steal from the congregation. They got to deal with God on the end of the day. I don't even know how you even do that. How do you do that? I know I've bumped into a couple of preachers that I've actually done some business with. Nothing wrong, real nice people at the end of the day. But I had to ask them, like, do you ever bump into like a really, really crooked priest? Like a really crooked priest? Like, how in the world do you get up in the morning and have a plan to go in and do a whole fake healing? And that's crazy. That's literally crazy. That's like asking for it on so many levels. It's not even funny. And they have no fear. They get in these jets. I saw one where these preachers all got together. I was a group of them. They wanted these $1 billion jets. These things are expensive, crazy $1 billion jet. And they were talking about how they needed. One guy already had like 6 of them. And they were talking about how they needed this jet because this will give them the ability to be able to fly here and there and heal this man. You can get on your knees and do that. You can get on your knees in the middle of a war zone and pray to God and he'll have your back. So you need a $1 billion jet to fly from A to B just to pick up, just to heal somebody? Are you kidding me? That's insane. How much money you could have basically given back to your church, how many people you could have fed, clothing, housing, stuff you could have gave to other people to help them get on their feet. With $1 billion? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of people who gave the very last that they had. It's a shame. And it's also a shame, too, because as a Christian, you have to be woke. You have to have your eyes open. You have to look at the sheep and the wolf in sheep's clothing. You have to be real careful of false prophets and stuff like that. So people also, too, follow down the road of these false prophets, ended up becoming taken by these false prophets, too. I mean, yeah, you gotta, that's why I said when the preacher's talking, I listen to him, but I listen more to the Bible. I compare what he's saying to the Bible. I never go by, oh, so preached a good servant today, and he's a good servant. Well, let God be the judge of that. But until then, I'm comparing everything he says to the Bible, because some people say things that just ain't right, and I want to make sure he's saying things that are right. And people get offended over that because you're questioning their preacher. At the end of the day, he's a man. All right, he'll die, go to heaven. He ain't coming back. He ain't rising, resurrection from the grave unless God decides to. Other than that, I don't look at a preacher as he's supposed to be a god or something. No. At the end of the day, I compare you to God. I compare your notes and what you're saying to what God is saying in the book. If you come up incorrect, then guess what? I'll walk out of the church. Bye. Ain't no need for me to be in there. But like I said, then you have preachers that Man, these guys are the worst. I mean, absolutely worst. I watched the Death Position on a preacher. I don't know if you saw that on YouTube. That guy stole everything under the sun. I mean, what in the world did he not take? I mean, how do you go out and you spend? I know we're off topic here, but it just bugs me sometimes when it comes to this. How in the world are you spending $30,000 on belts? $30,000 on belts. $60,000 on suits. The stuff they were reading through, the money that they were spending was absolutely insane. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how many people you could have fed and taken care of. And you're driving these fancy cars and these $1 million homes and jewelry and clothes and all this stuff. And you among other people that are in the congregation are doing the same thing too. Oh, there's a day for you, buddy boy. There's definitely a day for you coming. The other one, yeah, his day caught up with him because he was in court already, going to jail for that nonsense. But my goodness, man, unbelievable what they're stealing. It's unbelievable. What you stealing for? You come on this earth to preach about God, and you're stealing from God to leave it here to begin with. You're not taking it with you to begin with. There's nothing you're taking with you. All you're doing is just stacking basically hot coals on your head for the gates of hell. That's pretty much it. But what are you stealing for? You can't take it with you. I can never understand that nonsense. You can't take it with you. And if God decides to go, and that's dangerous. I mean, that's extremely dangerous. If God decides to go, you know what? That tells you how merciful God is, how good and merciful He is. Gives a man who steals from him enough time to turn around and get his life together before he basically says, you know what? Okay, I'm going to turn my back to you, and I'm going to unleash this demon on you, which is, you know what I mean, the devil all day long is wanting you. He's watching you all day long, and he watches him even more. And he convinces these people to steal. That's how crooked the Satan is. He'll convince these people, go ahead and take as much as you want. Take. God's not going to notice. God's not going to find out. He's not going to know. Are you kidding me? Really? So you can take as much as you want. Keep taking. And God's mercy, like, okay, I'm giving you a chance. You might want to back out of this. You might want to bring this back a little bit. You might want to back out of this, but you keep taking. Go get more. And the greed gets heavier and heavier. Get more, and you get more deeper and deeper. Okay, you might want to back out of this. And when God sits there and says, well, okay, I gave you a chance. That's the end of it. Then they get caught up in all that nonsense, and then they're ready to go to jail, and all this is going through, and they see what prison life is like, and it gets pretty bad for them. And now they're on their knees praying to God, asking for forgiveness. And the beautiful thing about God is God will forgive you, but you still have to go through what you have to go through because you put yourself in that situation. Yeah, but it's crazy. I can never understand that. I don't know how in the world you take money from, these are people. Some people don't have that kind of money. Some people are barely making it to get from day to day, and you're taking their money to put into $1 billion jet. That doesn't weigh on your conscience in any way whatsoever. Doesn't bother you, man. Yeah. Yes, sirree. See, the problem with some Christians is they literally think that they can do whatever they want, and they think that they can't go to hell. Oh, yes, you can go. Yes, you can. A Christian can lose their salvation. Yes, you can. You can't do whatever you want. That's virtually impossible. There's consequences. There's consequences for everything in life. Even to the Christian who thinks that he can do whatever he wants to do, it don't work that way. I have seen things. People say, oh, you're no, I have seen things, man. I've seen things. God won't allow you to see, like my sister, she's a serious Christian now. We talked about a few times where me and my sister April have seen things that are on the earth that you don't know that walk among the earth, but they do. And these are things that are part of the Lucifer's group. Well, the devil's group. But there are fallen angels that walk among the earth all day long. They do. In the daytime, yeah, there are demons that walk among you all day long. One can sit right next to a bus, or on a bus stop, you would never even know what you were looking at. Smile right at you. They know who you are. They know who you are. Oh, well, they do. Trust me. I had an incident one time. I got up on the bus one time. I sat down next to this guy. And he was just a giggle and a laugh. I mean, the weirdest giggle and laugh I've ever heard in my entire life. And I knew what it was. He was right behind me. I knew what it was. Just back there, giggling and laugh. I mean, it's weird, eerie giggle and laugh. And when you're a Christian, you pick up on stuff like that. You see things a little different than other people. And I knew what it was. I just prayed, in the blood, the name of Jesus, and walked off the bus, got off that stop, and got off the bus as fast as possible. But you see things, And You're not up here by yourself. You have to remember in the end, when Lucifer got thrown out of heaven, he went with a bunch of other angels, went with him too. Remember, he convinced a few other angels that we're going to go take over heaven. That's got to be the dumbest thing ever. Think about how dumb that is. It's like fighting. Imagine you fighting a boxer who could read your mind. You're not winning that fight, are you? Because everything that you do, he's going to know what you're going to do before you do it. So pretty much it's like pointless, because if you throw a punch, he knows that you're going to throw a punch before you throw a punch. He's going to be to take you out even faster. So Lucifer decides to take over heaven, and God knew what he was going to do before he was going to do it. Yeah, that's real smart. And then he knew he was God's right-hand angel. It wasn't like he was like second-hand, it wasn't like, down the bottom of the pole. No, there was no such thing as being bottom down the pole. But he was actually one of God's most elite angels. He was actually one of his second-hand angels, like Michael. And you didn't figure that out? Really? You didn't read the handbook? You didn't figure that out, that he knew what you were going to do? You were closer to him than anybody else was, and you couldn't pick that up? Yeah, but like I said, that's what it is. But anyway, got to be careful. Like I said, there are things that walk among the earth besides you. And that's why it's good to have the protection of the Lord. Get this all done, huh? And I have seen some stuff. But my sister, yeah, she's a real nice person. She's a Christian. And we talked about that. Me and my sister April talked about seeing some things before. My sister April seen some really crazy stuff. But you have to understand that when these things walk in front of you, you got to have that faith, you know what I mean? You look at them like, oh, no. You got to go. I rebuke you. You got to go. You got to go. At the end of the day, you got to go. You know who I serve. You're not supposed to be here. And they go. They got to leave. So my sister was like, I could never handle anything like that. I hope I never see anything like that. You won't see anything like that, because God knows what you can handle, what you can't handle. He's not going to throw anything in front of your path that you can't handle. He's only going to give you what you can handle. Look at it. Talking about the Lord in the morning. I love talking about God. I do. I love talking about the Lord. There was a time in my life, you would never believe it, that Mr. Bird could not stand Christians. I hated them. I hated Christians at one point in my life. I hated them. I couldn't stand them. I thought they were the weakest things on the face of the planet. I really thought. Waste of time. My mother was a real serious Christian. She went to church every single day. And I was going to church and me all dressed up, my jewelry and my gear and everything, my street gear. And then I'm looking at these people like, man, these are a bunch of fools in here. We're jumping up and down, acting up, and this, that, and the other. Man, I don't want a part of this. Yep, I was one of them people that worship the things on the earth more than I worship God. Yeah, I learned the hard way. It took me to go through the prison system in order for me to understand where my place was with God. That's how I learned. I learned the hard way. I had to go through the prison system to learn it. But I'm glad it all happened that way. And I'll never forget the day. I'll never forget the day when I was in the holding cell. They was basically transferring me to send me up. Now I wasn't being putting me to a holding facility for the time being until my day of court came up. So as I'm sitting in this holding cell, I lost everything. I lost my job. I lost my friends or all that. I lost my freedom. And I'm in this holding cell. And the devil was right across from me, laughing. I can hear this guy in the background laughing. Just laughing. Just exterior, just laughing in the background. And my mom came in to see me, and she gave me this little orange Bible. And she said, I want you to read Psalms from the Bible. You gonna get out of this? Everything's gonna be okay. You gotta go through some stuff first. Gotta go through some stuff. So as I sat down, opened up this Bible, I thought about killing myself at first. I was gonna kill myself. Because for the charge, I'm going to tell you what I was charged with and what happened and everything. But for the charges I was facing, I'm not supposed to be here right now. Mr. Bird did not kill anybody, so don't think about that. Mr. Bird didn't kill anybody. But I did something that got me in a lot of trouble. So what I was facing, or what my lawyers told me I was facing, I was planning to kill myself. I was planning to get in a fight with the bailiff, or maybe get the gun from me, and maybe they'll shoot me or something. But I wasn't doing that much time. It was going to happen. Well, my mom said, be patient. Everything is going to work out. And I'm nervous, scared to death. Don't even know what's going to happen. My future is over. It's done. Finished. So, as my mom came with this book, I opened up the Bible for the first time. I started reading Psalms from the Bible. In the background, I heard that individual turn around and say to me, what's the point of you reading that? God can't help you now. I knew what that was speaking to me in that jail cell over there. That was Satan himself over there talking to this man
because that's not God talking to me. And there's only two evils, or two beings on the earth, which is God and the devil. And I knew what that was, speaking to me in that jail cell over here across from me. To my God can't help you now. He didn't even know I had a Bible in my hand. How would you even know I had a Bible? Couldn't even see me. He wasn't that close to me. He was way on the other end. But he knew I was in that jail cell over there. And he didn't know I had a Bible in my hand. He didn't see my mom come in and give me the Bible at all, period. My mom didn't even say Bible. She said, here, this will help you out. That's what she gave to me. So how would you know I had this in my hands? When he turned around, he sat there and said, oh, God can't help you out. And no point of reading that. I knew what it was. So, long story short, became a Christian when I got locked up. Made a promise to God that when he released me, and they were talking about releasing me, my first Sunday out, I'm getting baptized. And that's what I did. First Sunday out, got baptized. And yeah, I got out, and basically, like I said, you got to learn some things. You got to go through Christian boot camp. And I got out, and, you know, this money, but I had some money coming to me from the States, and got more into thinking about this money and less thinking about the Lord. I spent less time in church, more time at the house, more time hanging out with the boys on the corner, more time waiting for this money to come in. You know, because I was embarrassed by the way I was dressed. When I went in, I was in for a while. When I came out, my clothes wasn't where they were supposed to be at. And, you know, people had nice clothes, and I was getting clowned a bit here and there. And it became more about the money than it became more about having faith in the Lord, because the Lord would have made sure I had what I needed. But instead of me taking that route, I took the idiot route, and I decided that I was going to basically depend on this money coming in. And I lost my path. I stopped going to church altogether. And I started hanging out with the boys again and getting in trouble and this, that, and the other. And I backslid for about a good maybe 8 years. And then my life went back on track again. That was the last time. Yeah. So, yep. Yes, sir. Why are you telling me all your business? I don't mind. I'm not telling my business. If I can help somebody at the end of the day who's maybe watching this, maybe a Christian and maybe struggling, maybe somebody's trying to find some hope in something, if this can help you out a little bit, then hey, I don't mind talking about my life. And people can joke and laugh about this and tease me about this and use this as a weapon against me. It don't bother me at the end of the day, because I know who I'm dealing with. That's the devil. That's what he's supposed to do. That's his job. That's how he's supposed to carry on and act up. And at the end of the day, I got the Lord who protects me, and you got to deal with him at the end of the day too. So it don't bother me at all. Today, me and Taco are going on eBay, and we're shopping for a train set for the house. Ain't that right, Taco? I'm gonna get something big enough. It's a big train. We need a big train. Big train. That way, we can have something to put Taco on, to put a conductor hat on, so he can ride around the house, which is gonna be pretty cool. So we need a big train today. But ouch! But it can't be too noisy, because I don't want to scare the crap out of him, because it will scare him. All right, this one's taken care of. This one's taken care of. That one's taken care of. This is for this order right here. So this is him. He is done right there. Voila! Got to get him taken care of. Get the magic box out. Boom. The magic box. And today, we're also going to be painting in a red screen today. He's on one of the red screens today. Paint one of them. So I took the 106. Oh, if you're interested in doing the wallpaper screen really quick, the one I'm going to do in the video in a couple of days, the wallpaper surface is 4 by 8. Yeah, it's $48. So good to have. So yeah, I put my faith in God. Everything that I have. I'm always curious what he's going to teach me next. All my knowledge of building and designing, everything comes from him. Everything comes from God. Everything. I'm looking for bubble wrap, and it's right here. Duh! Mr. Taco. Where's that Taco? Mr. Taco. Taco got 3. I actually got a couple. I actually needed 1. He desperately needed. His litter box got changed out. I'm not going to show you what goes on in his litter box, but yeah, I had to get him a bigger box. The other one was too small, so he outgrew that one. I keep forgetting when he came here, it was just a little cat. That's interesting about that too, because, you know, I was thinking about getting a dog. I was thinking about getting me a couple of pit bulls, but
pit bulls in this place would have been destructive. Man, these are big dogs, they're good sized dogs. I don't know if I'm gonna train them not to knock over the projector or whatever. It's gonna take time. You got to train animals. It takes a while to train them. And then on top of that, going to the SPCA and I have to leave the house, get the dog and all that. Called around a few people, other people I used to have dogs, and see whether or not they had anything that I could buy from them. And I see those things on TV, how people would be home and this animal would come to them and that would become their pet. Like strange, you know what I mean? Like, someone was sitting there like, the cat just walked up and, he started feeding him. Next thing you know, that was his cat. Well, Taco, same interesting story. I was sitting in my, talking to the mail lady, and Taco walked between my legs, and sat right there in the middle of the floor where Taco Land is at, and sat there and meow. I looked at him and said, well, guess you're staying. And that's how I got Taco. Taco walked in off the streets and sat right there, his little cat, when he walked in. Ain't that right? Ain't that right, buddy boy? He's down there just chilling right now. Taco. There you go, buddy. Hey, there you go. Yeah, so that's how he walked in. He walked in the house the first time. Now, yeah, there were some concerns because I have respiratory issues, and I thought that maybe it'd be a bad idea, but I wanted the cat so bad. He was so adorable. But, maybe I have some respiratory, maybe some problems with my breathing and all that stuff, but didn't have any problems with my breathing or nothing. Like I said, God worked everything out. I was able to have him. The first couple of days, I went through anxiety attacks and all the other bullcrap you got to go through. And really thought the cat was messing with my breathing and all, but he wasn't. But I just kept him at a distance. I was going to keep him regardless if I couldn't breathe or not. He was going to stay away. You know what I mean? Because I like the cat. So that day we went on Amazon. We did some shopping. We bought what? We bought everything. Yeah, we bought food containers and bowls and everything and toys. That's how we developed Taco Land over there. Toys and tunnels and all kinds of stuff, scratching posts, everything he would need. And he doesn't, very little does he tamper with anything in the house. Like, okay, once in a while he might take some lights out. That's basically about it, but it's rare, And other than that, he doesn't sit on the projectors and doesn't damage my stuff. He has his own little room in the back that when he's tired, he goes right back to his room where he took over the love seat. The love seat's his now. But anyway, yeah, very well trained. Never had too many problems from it all, period. Doesn't scratch. My main concern was some scratching up my leather chairs in the house because I got a sofa. I got 2 gaming chairs upstairs. Nope. Never had a problem. I had to scold it one time. That's it. Doesn't jump on the counters. Doesn't jump on the table. Though he did jack up the, I got to replace those anyway. But yeah, like I said. And it was amazing because God brought him to me. And I thought that maybe he belonged to somebody else. So I left my door open and let him go. Came right back twice. I asked around the neighborhood. They were like, no, don't belong to nobody around here. So I kept him. So he's been here ever since. And his name was supposed to be, what was your name supposed to be, Taco? It was Kitty Kaboom. Yeah, because he was small. Usually when you got male and female cats are big. They're big cats. So he was so small. I'm like, you got to be a female. So I called him Kitty Kaboom. But one day he's on the couch and decides to clean himself and go, you're a male. So that's how he got the name. Well, his name was Taku from a Japanese anime, but it ended up being Taco. So that's how he got the name Taco. Ain't that right, Taco? Taco Denario. You got the stereo. Taco. And then my Dominican friends gave him the rest of the name. Because they were laughing at it. They were cracking up. They were like, wait, you named the cat Taco? I didn't know. It was Taku. After, I think it was Fooly Cooly, one of those. It was Taku. But it came out to be Taco. They were dying. Because I thought maybe I didn't want to offend anybody. But they were cracking up. So they finished off his name. So Taco's full name is Taco Denario Jose Bird. That's the name they gave him. They're funny. These are my Dominican friends. So it's pretty. Yes. Yet to teach me how to play dominoes. Which you're supposed to teach me how to play dominoes. I haven't learned to play dominoes yet. I'll learn one day. Alright, so we'll get all this wrapped up for you guys. There we go. Alright. Done for him. Oh, my Christmas thing went on. Alright, I guess I'll pack you the other way. Well, this works better. Oh, okay, this works much better. This works so much better. Alright, let's get a little top. Get him ready to be shipped out. Oh, That should be good, right? And I need some tape. Why my lights don't work under my kitchen cabinet because of this guy. Hey, you, yeah, you. Can you leave my lights alone, please? Bad enough, I got to replace these already today. Leave them alone. We got enough toys to go to Taco Land. Taco Land, I'm about to upgrade Taco Land this week. Oh, we're gonna upgrade Taco Land. You got a cat cave coming for Christmas. You got a full-size scratching post coming in for yourself. We ordered some electronic toys for you. You don't need catnip, trust me. He's crazy enough as it is. I ain't gonna add to that nightmare. And then we're gonna be decorating. We're gonna go to Amazon and decorate Taco Land, or actually Taco Land 2. Your bedroom upstairs. Get that decorated. That. Come on, man. I got rolls. Oh, there's the tape. Where's the tape at? So yes, sorry for some of you if it bothers you that I talk about the Lord, but I do love the Lord. I owe him so much. You have no idea how much I owe the Lord. Not for the simple fact that Jesus came down and hung himself on the cross for me, so I can basically be able to talk to you and have salvation. But the simple fact, he's always been there for me in my life. Yes, sirree. Taco. This Thanksgiving. What did we get for Thanksgiving, Taco? We got turkey and mashed potatoes. I'm not a big vegetable eater, so I make myself eat corn. I'm not a big fan of vegetables at all, period. But corn, macaroni, all that stuff like that. No, we are not. We're not ordering anything. I went to restaurant school. I studied in Paris. I had 1 month intern in Paris. But yeah, I use it from time to time. Yeah, basically around this season now. Oh yeah. So I'm shopping for all my stuff now. My mixers and blenders and all that stuff. We about to get it in. Yeah, because we got 5 of them in the family. We got 5 chefs in the family. They're all cooking. They're already setting up already. They've been sharing videos back and forth on Facebook already. They're getting ready. But we're building a gingerbread castle this year, aren't we? Yes, it's going to be epic. But I'm not eating all that. I actually give all that stuff away anyway. Right? Right? Yeah. So we're going to do the turkey, the old 9 yards, everything. My mom was one of those people, even before going to restaurant school, my mother was one of those people that she kept her men in the kitchen. She kept them in the kitchen. Because a man should know how to cook at the end of the day. You should not be in the house eating Vienna sausages and ice cold milk over a sink. You should literally know how to cook. If your wife leaves and goes away for so much and so and so, you should know how to feed yourself. Go in the kitchen, be able to cook. Use utensils and pots and pans and all that good stuff. You should know how to cook. If you're making ramen noodles and that's the best thing you know how to make, ramen noodles and hot dogs, I feel sorry for you at the end of the day. Because you should literally know how to cook. Or bake, or one of them. We either both. But my mother's one of those people who kept her man in the kitchen to teach him how to bake and cook. And all the men in our family can cook and bake. At the end of the day, my brother's wife is a neurosurgeon, I think it is. And they'll trip to the military. So when she leaves, sometimes she has to leave for a short amount of time or whatever, and he's home with the kids, he can cook. Cook behind off. You should know that. You should know how to sew. You should know how to use a washing machine. All that stuff. I got friends of mine. The reason why I say I got friends of mine who literally cannot hand stitch their clothes. Or don't even operate a sewing machine. You should know all this stuff already. Just like my dad would take we all knew about working on cars and all that stuff. That's a given. We already got that. But he would take the girls, there's 5 of us, 5 boys and 5 girls. He would take the girls and he would teach them how to do the stuff that they should know how to do. You know what I mean? You know, work on your car, do this, so and so and so. I got a sister right now can strip apart an engine on the car and put it right back together. No joke. But you should know these things, you know what I mean? We don't have to depend on anybody all the time. Yep. Yep. Now to cook. Oh, wait a minute. I got nothing to clean to wear. What you mean you got nothing clean to wear? She hasn't done the laundry yet. You got to be freaking kidding me. I'm not having this speech with you. You're a grown freaking man. We're done with this conversation. I'm hanging up the phone. Where you going? I'm going to wash my clothes. You should know how to do all this stuff. All right. This is his order right here. So he's good right there. Boom. Let me get his order form sheet on him, so we don't make sure we don't get him mixed up with anybody else. Ah, don't get mad at me. You hear this all the time in the house. You get all ranty with me because bottom line is you hear the tape go off and nut job, crazy cat. Oh, this is his soup. I'll say, well, I got extra one here. What the heck? That's on his order. All right, so we got some cool stuff we're gonna be working on this week. We're gonna work on that Invisible Black Phantom. Oh, I can't wait. That's gonna be cool. Have you seen the demonstration we did with the Phoenix version? We stuck it against the white screen and blew up the screen image, and you could just see that image. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm gonna do another one of them. We're gonna do a paint-on demonstration of the 106. We're gonna do that one on the red, because I don't do enough of the reds. We're gonna do the deep reds on that one, 106, do some gaming off of that downstairs. That's right. Ow! Back into and back into right there. Having a ball with this Far Cry, man. Far Cry's freaking good. That first mission, when you're on the island, when you first start off, I didn't like that too much. That was kind of boring for me. I almost gave up the game on that one. That's just, yeah. But once you get up that island, he wasn't joking, man. It is party time. I got all kinds of cool weapons. All kinds of cool stuff. I know I'm just late. I'm late, but I never get a chance to play anyway. So it takes me a while to get to it. You know. All right, that's him right there. He's done. What else do we have to do? We have the gunmetal. This is for the company. Why do we have two gunmetals here? Oh, this is for this individual here. This is his. He should be in a medium box. He's a medium box. So that's for him. And that's the gunmetal for them. Two extra containers, which is good. Oh, counting your fish. All right, this is for an order of Invisible. So the screen you saw downstairs, that's what's going into this technology right here. This container, that's for the Invisible, right there. Oh, I forgot to put your stickers on. Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. Taco. Taco de Nario. The stereo. Taco de Nario with the stereo. Taco de Nario. Taco, we gotta go hunting for a train today. We're gonna get a big train. Big lino train, so with the blurring like smoke maybe. That'd be pretty cool, right? Man, we're gonna spend that kind of money. We're gonna get something simple. Not anything too big. They had these trains they used to sell at Toys R Us. I'm not trying to get anything serious while I'm here. Now, when I move, yeah, I'll probably get myself maybe a lino train set, die-cast metal. Yeah, one of those big boys. Yeah, that when I move from here. This place ain't designed for it. That's why I said I want to get the whole 4 acres and I want to get a shipping container home because I can build my train set into my home as they're constructing it. That's what I want. I want something I can move from down. Oh, I can't wait to set this up. I definitely want to put a trolley in too. But anyway, we're going to get a basic train, a big boy, but a basic train. So they had these train sets way back, way back. I think 2003. That's not too far back. They had these trains they used to sell. I had one of them. They used to sell them over at Toys R Us. Toys R Us used to have them. And they were like these, they were set up for under the trees, giant trains under the tree, but then they start expanding the track. Things are pretty cool. I do like electric over battery any day. I don't like Bluetooth. I like the old-fashioned trains. That's why I'm just going to wait until I move and get the one that I want, because the one that I want is a bit of a pretty penny. It's not the kind of train we could buy all at once. You have to buy the thing piece by piece by piece. So it's very, I don't want to sound braggy here. It's very expensive. Let's just put it that way. But it's something that requires maintenance and stuff like that. It's beautiful. But I'll get that when I move because I don't have enough room to put that thing in here to begin with. It's not that big of a train. I just don't have the room to put it in here. But anyway, what we're gonna get a battery powered one. They are vintage because you can find them on eBay for like $100-200. It's the whole set and everything. But they have a few of them called the Gold Rush. There's a bunch of them used to have. And I should get me 2 of those babies. Should we get 2 of them? You ride to the house, it'd be pretty cool. And if he jacks it up, you know what I mean? It's not any money lost because
at the end, we can't jack it up. No way we can wreck that thing. But it'd be interesting to see how he reacts around it. But yeah, we're going to get one off of eBay today. They got them over there for like 70, 80 bucks, $25 for shipping. These things are pretty good size, strings and all. And we're going to get one to run through the house for Christmas. So I decided to do that. I don't want the neon lights we have in here. We're going to turn all these white, like a soft white. I'm adjusting to a soft white. And we're going to make the house look classy. I don't want a bunch of neon for Christmas all over my house. We want to do a colonial style Christmas. I'm going to keep it nice and classy. Nice, I got the fireplace over, that nice cobblestone fireplace, so that's going to look really nice. So change out the rugs and everything, make the house look really cozy, like a small little cottage, and do it from there like that. That's what I want. We'll just do some Christmas displays off the screen, something real nice. But anyway, that's what we're doing, right? And we got to find you some reindeer ears. Some reindeer antlers. Any antlers? Hey, Taco. Want some antlers? Can't some pay any money. Like, yeah, whatever, buddy. Put those suckers on me, I'm gonna scratch you up. All right, people. Taco. Put the stereo. You on the stereo. So this one's done. I'm gonna try to get this one out today. Hopefully. He'll take that one, which I need that done. And the rest of these, we'll have these all finished off. For everybody. Is he talking about God again? He's always talking about God. I get that from time to time. People send me new emails and say, why are you always talking about God? Why are you talking about God? You're always talking about God. You're always talking about Jesus. Jesus this and Jesus that. Blah, blah this and blah, blah that. It's funny, yeah, when you're on an airplane and your wing pop off, now you want to speak to God. When it's snowing and your car slids out of control, God forbid this never happens to you, your car slids out of control, you're spinning all over the highway where you got Mack trucks and tractor trailers rearing in your direction. Oh, now it's about God. Yeah, it's always about God when it's something that you need, but at the end of the day, people don't want to speak or talk about it. Isn't that interesting? Anytime something comes up, you deal with a family member or something like that you need on them, you pray on them then. But at the end of the day, you don't want to speak about it, you don't want to talk about it. All right, are we done, Taco? We're done for today. Yeah! I'm gonna get you a shirt that says Crystal Edge Technology Screens. That's what I'm gonna get you. All right, we're out of here. We got to paint a screen in a few, right? We're gonna paint a screen in a few today. But other than that, these orders are taken care of, so we're gonna everything processed for Saturday. I'm gonna email the few individuals who didn't make it for this Saturday. I do apologize for any inconvenience, but I'm gonna try to get you out this week, depending on the carrier. If not, it'll be on Saturday. All right. So everybody's good to go. Thank you all for your time. Have a wonderful evening, or this morning right now. Evening. Ha ha ha. We're up in the morning right now, isn't it? Ha ha ha. What's it? Up in the morning. So have a wonderful night or day wherever you're at in the world, and be safe and God bless.